What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 28 years later, The Bone Temple. This movie picks up immediately where the last film left off, where you have Spike accidentally running into the Jimmy gang. In order for him to find salvation and protection in this world, he has to join the Jimmy gang, but the only way that he is able to do that is he has to participate in a brutal ritual where he has to pick out one of the Jimmys and be able to kill them in order to find that protection from Jimmy Crystal, played by Josh O'Connell. Going into this movie, I have been somewhat curious because I am in the minority that actually enjoys 28 Years Later for what it is. I thought Danny Boyle brought a really nice artistic style to that movie while also introducing some interesting concepts, but seeing how Nia DaCosta is directing this movie, I have not really been the biggest fan of her work up to date. I thought Candyman was okay, but it felt rushed, but you can see her eye for direction in that movie. And while I don't hate the Marvels as much as a lot of people do, that wasn't a strong outing for her. So going into this movie, I have been somewhat curious, but at the same time trepidatious, just because Nia DaCosta has not really knocked it out of the park for me. And I came out really enjoying this movie, so much more than I thought I was going to. What Nia DaCosta is able to do is take some of the best parts of 28 Years Later while also making it her own. When you look at 28 Years Later and 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, you can see that these two movies are two completely different movies in the way that they're being presented, in the way that they're being stylized. Because you look at 28 Years Later and that movie kind of feels like it has a very artistic style to this franchise. And when you go into The Bone Temple, you can see how much effort Nia DaCosta was able to put in this film and make it her own. She wasn't trying to copy Danny Boyle's style. She made it purely her own. And I think that is what makes this movie better than 28 Years Later. Alfie Williams is back as Spike, and I think he is one of the shining stars of this film. I didn't give him enough credit in my 28 Years Later review, but I thought he was great for the material that he was given, because there are a lot of different things that he is exposed to with this new gang and just the way that they go out and killing people. This is something new to him, and he thinks that the infected are really the things that he is supposed to be afraid of, when I think that the Jimmy gang is far more sadistic than the infected. Because what Josh O'Connell was able to bring to Jimmy Crystal is one of the most unsettling and disturbing characters that I've seen all year. He knows how to play this character to his strength. After watching 28 Years Later and Sinners, he is somebody that I'm starting to really appreciate what he's doing, because he does the very best he can with this material, and he just brings out that sadistic side. The first half of this movie is really hard to watch, because not only do they double down on the zombie dong, but they also double down on all the violence and gore and everything that this gang, in particular Jimmy Crystal, does. It's really hard to watch while also being satisfying in a very sadistic kind of way. And I think that is what makes this movie really stand out from 28 Years Later. It's the fact that it goes not only just for a different visual style, but also with the story, it goes in a really different direction than I was expecting this movie to go. This movie goes hard in the best of ways, and I am really surprised just by the cinematography in this movie. This movie is beautifully shot, with every single set piece, every single piece of lighting, and every camera movement. It's just so easy to get tranced in what Nia DaCosta is trying to do. She is trying to convey different ideologies and different messages while also introducing some interesting concepts that were introduced in 28 Years Later and expanding them a little bit more, especially with Dr. Kelson's character played by Ralph Fiennes, and he really steals the movie for him. While this movie does have two different stories going on at the same time, you have the story with the Jimmy gang and Spike, and then you also have a very interesting story with Dr. Kelson and Samson, the huge bearded zombie with a huge ass dong. Out of these two stories, not only do they get more of the limelight, their stories was a little bit more interesting, because you have Dr. Kelson trying to figure out a cure for the infected to see if there's still life in them. And so the way that he's able to train Samson in just trying to figure out if there's still human behind those dead eyes was so interesting, that I really love the fact that that was really one of the main focus of the film. And this scene in particular, I was not prepared for how hard this movie was going to go. and it just absolutely blew me away. The fact that Dr. Kelson's storyline was a little bit more interesting than the Jimmy gang going on, I think was a really nice breath fresh of air, because you needed that so much in this movie with a lot of the things that are going on, all the killings and all the sadistic things that the Jimmy gang is doing, and in particular Jimmy himself. Going back and visiting Dr. Kelson and everything that he is doing, I think strikes the perfect balance of having that heaviness while also having that lightness without compromising each other's tones, because those two tones never clash together. You're invested every step of the way. It never gets boring for you. And what I really appreciate about this movie is just how tragic Samson's story is, because there are some things revealed about him that I thought made him more of a compelling character, not just a zombie with a huge dong, but also giving him something to care about, something to really get behind, because I don't think you've seen that in many zombie movies. And that's what makes this movie interesting, is the fact that you kind of do care about almost every single character to a certain extent. You have Spike seeing everything that the Jimmy gang is doing. He does not want any part of that. He doesn't want to be associated with this gang and everything that they stand for and everything that they're doing. You can kind of see the camaraderie that the Jimmy gang has. Even though they are sadistic, they don't want to be in this cult. You can kind of see that when they're first introduced, and I think that is what makes it more compelling. Overall, this is a really surprising movie. I came out enjoying this movie so much more than I actually thought I was going to. I wasn't the biggest fan of her films prior to this movie, and this movie just made me do a 180 on her and what she's able to do when she's able to have that creative freedom and be able to do a little bit more, have her own sense of style, have her own sense of story direction, while also taking somebody else's script and trying to do something new, something refreshing. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful. There are moments in this movie that are really hard to watch, and overall I came out with a huge smile on my face. But overall, 28 Years Later is a movie that you should definitely check out in theaters, just because of its huge scope, its beautiful cinematography, and just the way that this movie is told. I really did enjoy this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to, and this is coming from somebody that really enjoys 28 Years Later. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure if they're able to do 28 Years Later something or other, the third film in this franchise, but if they're able to, I can't wait, because the ending put a huge smile on my face and it just made me wanting more. But those are my thoughts on 28 Years Later. Have you guys checked it out? Are you planning on checking this film out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'll catch you guys for the next video.